Sugar Ship sends its love.
Sugar Ship!
Boom Beach, Warship Season 61, After the Storm. Things are heating up very fast in the first week of the season. Moving into the second day for 4 engine room gameplay, Seeker attacks, Rocket Chopper attacks, and the crazy players,
Let's go, yeah!
dare I say, pairing both Seekers and Rocket Choppers together to get things done. In today's video, I will be sharing and highlighting Seeker attack strategy and Seeker plus Rocket Chopper attack strategy for 4 engine room gameplay. Let's do this. Good morning, good afternoon, and yes, good evening, Skull Army and friends. It's your boy, your friendly neighborhood SkullCrusher, coming right back at you with another Boom Beach video. And in today's video, Season 61, 4 ER gameplay, Seeker attack strategy, plus Seeker and Rocket Chopper attack strategy. We're going to start things off with the required tech, or at least the necessary tech, to pull these attacks off. And I did start my push in rank 12 here. I do want to give a big shout out to every player I did match, especially the familiar faces here. Night Owl, good job, buddy. A little bit quicker. And of course, Albert Chamisul with his secondary account. That was a pretty vicious battle. Big shout out to you, buddy. Way to go, Albert. And of course, to all our friends over at Joint at Your Own Risk. With that being said, the necessary tech to pull this off. Starting off with my gunboat, that is a tick 3. Of course, if it's anything higher than that, that is just going to be an added bonus. It's extra gunboat energy for shocks here. Landing craft should have been maxed from the start. I don't think we need to talk about that. Shocks are required. They are a big part of this hit. Honestly, if you have them unlocked, that's a bonus. Anything higher than that just adds value to the attack. After that, you want to focus on your troop damage here. Of course, having troop damage unlocked makes a difference. The higher the troop damage is, adds more value to the attack. Currently, I do have a tick 4 troop damage. And of course, you also want to make sure you do have flare. That will come in handy for some of these aggressive flares. That's if you are pulling them off with the Rocket Chopper and Seeker attacks. And lastly, we do have the troop health coming in handy. Now, I just picked this up a couple battles ago. Again, depending on what level it is, will add more value to the attack. Currently, my troop health is at tick 2. And of course, for offense here, the stars of the show, as much as I would love to make the Hidden Warrior shine, this is all about the Seekers and the Rocket Choppers. Now, again, depending on your defensive layout here, I know things will be getting much trickier as I progress, through 14 into 15, of course, climbing 15 for that gold rank here. So these attacks will be in the range of rank 12 through to rank 14, to about mid-rank 14. We did start the push at rank 12, and it looks like we did finish it with the 10 wins at about mid-range rank 14. First 6 attacks here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, leading right up to Albert. At Albert is when the Rocket Chopper and Seeker attacks start. First 6 will just be the Seeker attacks here, and you will also notice at least 1 or 2 boats of our stylish heavies, the heavies, for the purpose of clearing shock mines. Starting things off with Night Owl, 302 to 214. So starting things off here, you can see that not one, but 2 boats of heavies coming out on the far left side of the ramp there. And we flared directly in between the dual shock mines because I knew the Seekers were going to end up hitting that path right there. So we did delay drop 2 boats of Seekers roughly after the heavies. The heavies did their job clearing the shock mines, opening up the 2 Seekers to clear that mid-ER. A delayed 2 boats of Seekers coming out after that on the far left with 1 delayed boat of Seekers on the far right. You'll see a shock coming out for that hot pot. I did get a little bit nervous because it did land on the Seekers, but the Seekers on the right took care of it, and the Seekers on the left were able to finish the far left engine room. Moving into the Ice Queen, 314 to 253. Starting things off with 2 boats of Seekers directly in the middle because I knew they were going to go to that mid-engine room. And then you're going to see those 2 boats of heavies coming out on the far right. Why? Because look at those shock mines. While that's going on, we delayed 3 boats of Seekers on the far left side of the ramp, with delaying 1 boat of Seekers on the far right side of the ramp. The heavies did amazing. They cleared absolutely everything. And of course, those delayed Seekers on the left were able to manage both engine rooms while we were shocking the Doom cannon. So I'm not necessarily calling out the shocks here, but you can see the shocks coming coming in necessary, pinning down those splash damage defenses, anything machine gun, anything flamethrower, and doom cannons, not to mention hot pots as well. Shock blasters, absolutely, but cannons and snipers, you can kind of play around with them. One mortar is okay. If you've got multiple mortars paired up firing at your seekers, that is deadly. You do want to pay attention to that as well. Moving into L, 308 to 245. Starting things off with 2 bolts of Seekers on the far left side of the ramp with 2 bolts of Heavies on the far right side of the ramp. 2 bolts of Seekers on the far left are going for that top mid-edge and room with a delayed, I believe that's 4 bolts of Seekers on that right side. So we're just flaring those Heavies at the top there to clear those shock mines, cycling our shocks as necessary. And there was 1 delayed bolt of Seekers on the far left side of the ramp there. And you're going to notice that shock coming out, pinning down the cannon and flamethrower. And that 1 bolt of Seekers got it done. Luckily, I didn't have a single shock mine in that path. Going into Superman, this is 3 minutes to 2:23. You're going to see 1 bolt of Heavy with a delayed 2nd bolt of Heavy coming out on that far right side of the ramp. We're flaring up to clear the necessary shock mines. Now, I did drop 2 bolts of Seekers in the middle of the ramp with 2 bolts of Seekers on the far left for the purpose of those Seekers in the mid to get that top mid engine room. But the Seekers in the mid joined the Seekers on the left. They did a good job clearing both engine rooms on the left there, but now they came together and finished that top mid engine room while we were shocking that Doom Cannon. And there was actually 2 bolts of Seekers delayed on that far right. That was a beautiful shock, pinning down all 5 of those defenses: cannon, sniper, mortar, flamethrower, and cannon. Moving into door, this was 309 to 238. You're going to notice that all of my hits are 3 minutes and above. I found anything above a 3 minute was getting the win. And of course, you want to be super aggressive as we do start to climb. So then you want to kind of aim for 310, it faster than, 310, anything faster than 315 as you climb a little bit more. And I'm assuming once I get into gold, you got to be around that 320 range. Starting things off with 1 boat and 2 bolts of Seekers on the far right with 2 bolts of Seekers in the mid left there. Of course, I didn't drop any Heavies on this one because I knew we can manage it with the Seekers and the shocks. We are pinning down that Doom Cannon as necessary. There's 4 bolts of delayed Seekers on the far left side of the ramp. We're using them to manage the 2 top left engine rooms. And while this is going on here, we're shocking as necessary, pinning down all that dirty splash damage defenses, Doom Cannon, and those paired up machine guns. That's absolutely filthy for your Seekers. You want to manage them accordingly. Moving into Patron here, he did fizzle on me. I think we were still pretty quick. And this right here, I think we had 2 bolts of Seekers, actually 1 bolt of Seekers starting out in the mid here. No, okay, 3 bolts of Seekers in the mid here, 1 bolt of Heavy on the far right. Okay, so those Seekers in the mid are getting the 2 mid engine rooms. Heavies on the far right are to clear the shock mines. They did a beautiful job once again clearing the necessary shock mines. They cleared all 3 of them in the path there. Those 2, that 1 bolt of Seeker actually got it done. There's 1 more delayed boat in the mid there because we actually failed on that top mid engine room. So that 1 boat in the mid came in clutch. So we delayed our very last boat of Seekers. And of course, all we needed was a shock. That laser was not a threat here. And of course, pinning down the defenses in range here, absolutely beautiful. Boom! Goes the dynamite. And this is where the split Seeker and Rocket Chopper attacks start here. Shout out to my buddy Albert Chamisul 2 and all our friends over at Join at Your Own Risk. Sugar Ship sends its love, but we love Join at Your Own Risk stars. Albert, buddy, peace, love, and respect, homie. So here we go, 315 to 305. So look how dirty that right side is. And I knew this was coming here, so I was excited to start experimenting with these hits here. So that's 7 boat of Rocket Choppers on the right side of the ramp here. And we're just clearing as needed here. And since my troop damage is up here, you can actually aggressively rush a cannon, a single cannon, without having to shock it, and you should be able to overpower it. But we're just flaring those Rocket Choppers on that right side, taking out those engine rooms with that delayed 1 boat of Seekers on the far left side of the ramp there. And that was beautiful. There was 1 cannon, 1 machine gun, and that's how we were able to pull off a 315. Albert, great job, buddy. Moving into Jack here, this was 321. I believe this was my fastest. Yes, this was my fastest time here. Don't mind the 335. Of course, on the very last attack here, they matched me against the 3 ER. So going back to Jack here, 321 to 315. You're going to see, there we go. So we got 7 boats of Rocket Choppers on the far right. We actually flared that cannon up top. We did take an L there. I thought they were going to overpower it, but there's that 1 boat of Seekers in the middle there because the plan is for the Rocket Choppers to take out everything at the top here. And then of course the Seekers to take out that mid there and flare aggressively while shocking as necessary. You could take, if there's 1 single cannon and you're flaring freaking 4, maybe 5 or above Rocket Choppers, you can take the L, okay? Especially if you have troop damage and that troop damage is at 50%, you can take the L from the rocket chopper. Sorry, you can take the L from the cannon. You can afford to lose 1 or 2 rocket choppers when you're rushing that last engine room with 5 or more, and there's just 1 cannon and you don't have enough shocks. So just think about that, okay? Moving into the Boss Qatar, this was 304 to 238. Look how dirty these right sides are getting. So same strategy, okay? Since we had those that cannon and 2 machine guns there, I did cycle that shock to pin them down, just to give them some breathing room here. And then the sniper towers with the shock blaster, that's something we haven't really dealt with very frequently. So of course, we're just managing it as necessary, shocking as needed here. And look at that, we delayed the 1 boat of Seekers to get the top mid shocking, and then delaying that 2 boats of Seekers, or sorry, the other boat of Seekers on the far left to get that top left one, and of course shocking as needed, and boom goes the dynamite. And out of this beautiful 10-time streak, matching nothing but 4 ERs, as we're mid-range 14, they finally match me with a 3 ER. So shout out to T-Mac 4. You know, matchmaking sucks when it's like this, but T-Mac, when you go 4 and you match a 3, you're gonna be jumping up and down, buddy. You're like, yeah, it's lunchtime. So 335 to 244. And this one was just absolutely savage here. So 6 rocket choppers on the right ramp, 2 boats of Seekers on the left ramp, shocking as needed. And of course, just aggressively Hail Mary flaring, relying on the rocket choppers. We missed a cannon, so we took 2 Ls there, but there was 5 rocket choppers. So it was no problem. And this is what I'm talking about. So that was 3 engine room. Of course, 4 ER will have a little more health, but you should still take it out if your troop damage is high. So, you know, 30, 40, 50% TD. Absolutely savage with the Seekers, and then the Seekers and the rocket choppers. Skull Army and friends, let me know in the comments if you are using Seekers, if you are using rocket choppers, because we didn't do any full rocket chopper attacks here. This was just full Seeker, and then of course, well, Seeker and rocket chopper. Not to mention we did have the heavies for the mine clearing, but that is a crucial part of the attack here. Skull Army and friends, if you have made it this far into the video, please do not forget to leave a like. It does mean the absolute world to me, does help the channel grow, and yes, of course, it does appease our YouTube algorithm overlords. We will officially be wrapping up today's video. It's now time to make like a Tom and cruise.
I'm an actor.
We'll catch you on the next one. Peace!